There is something happening inside millions of people right now. Something quiet. Something slow. And almost no one is talking about it the way they should. You notice it in small moments. A conversation that feels slightly harder to follow than it used to. A room that suddenly seems louder and more confusing at the same time. Words that blur together before they fully reach you. You tell yourself it is nothing. You tell yourself this is just part of getting older. But what if that explanation is incomplete? What if the real reason your hearing feels different after 50 has almost nothing to do with your ears alone? That is exactly what we are going to explore today. And what you are about to discover may completely change how you think about hearing, brain function, and the way your body ages. Most people assume that hearing decline follows a simple and unavoidable path. You get older, your ears wear out. That is it. But researchers studying auditory neuroscience have been uncovering something far more complex, something that connects the inner ear not just to sound, but to the brain's processing systems, the nervous system, circulation, and the silent pressure of chronic stress. Here's where the story really begins. Inside your inner ear, there are thousands of delicate hair cells. These are not ordinary cells. They are among the most specialized structures in the entire human body. Their entire function is to convert sound vibrations into electrical signals that travel through the auditory nerve directly into the brain. When those hair cells are healthy, the signal is clean. The brain receives information clearly, processes it efficiently, and you hear with ease. But when something begins to compromise those cells, when circulation slows, when oxidative stress accumulates, when the nervous system is chronically overloaded, the signal starts to degrade, not all at once, slowly, quietly, in ways that most people dismiss for years before they finally pay attention. And this is where the real problem begins. Because by the time most people notice something is wrong, the underlying process has already been building for a long time. By the way, tell me in the comments where you are watching from today. And if someone close to you has experienced changes in their hearing as they got older, I would genuinely love to hear your story. But here is where it gets interesting. The decline that so many people over 50 experience is not purely mechanical. It is not simply the ears aging in isolation. What science is revealing is that hearing is deeply entangled with the brain itself. The auditory cortex, the part of your brain responsible for interpreting sound, requires enormous metabolic energy to function. It depends on healthy blood flow, on well-functioning neural pathways, and on a nervous system that is not constantly locked in a state of stress response. When chronic stress becomes the background noise of everyday life, the body begins to make difficult trade-offs. Blood is redirected. Circulation to peripheral structures, including the delicate capillaries of the inner ear, can become compromised. The nervous system, designed for short bursts of high alert, becomes fatigued from sustained pressure. And the result is a cascade of subtle changes that affect not just how clearly you hear, but how efficiently your brain can process what it hears. There is also the question of oxidative stress. As the body ages, the balance between free radicals and the antioxidant systems that neutralize them becomes harder to maintain. The inner ear is particularly vulnerable to oxidative damage because of its high metabolic demands and limited ability to regenerate. This is not a theory at the edge of science. This is an area of growing and serious research attention. What most people do not realize is that this is not just about the ears. It is about the entire biological system that keeps the auditory pathway alive, responsive, and connected. The false narrative that hearing decline is simply inevitable, simply aging, nothing more, nothing to address, may be one of the most costly assumptions a person over 50 can carry. So what does a meaningful approach to auditory wellness actually look like? It starts with taking the biology seriously, supporting healthy circulation, reducing the inflammatory and oxidative burden on the body, giving the nervous system the conditions it needs to function at its best, and recognizing that the ears and the brain are not separate concerns. They are part of one continuous, deeply connected system, Some people find value in targeted nutritional support designed specifically with the system in mind. Formulas that combine ingredients associated with circulatory health, antioxidant activity, and nervous system calm, not as a replacement for professional care, but as a thoughtful part of a broader commitment to how they age. If that is something you want to explore, I have left a link in the pinned first comment below this video. It points to a natural hearing support option that aligns with the principles discussed here today. Take a look when you have a moment and decide if it makes sense for where you are. Right now, here is what I want you to take away from this. Hearing is not just a passive ability that fades quietly and inevitably with age. It is an active, dynamic biological process, one that is connected to your brain, your circulation, your stress levels, and the overall health of your nervous system. The idea that nothing can be done, that this is simply the price of getting older, is not supported by what science is increasingly showing us. There's more happening inside this system than most people are ever told. And understanding that deeper picture is the first step toward making choices that actually matter. Your hearing connects you to the people you love, to conversations that matter, to the richness of the world around you. That connection deserves more than quiet acceptance. It deserves attention, understanding, and care. The more we understand about the ear-brain relationship, the more we realize that the real story of hearing health has barely begun to be told.